So cookies are clearly advantageous, but in some cases have become problematic. Once the efficacy of data became clear to both commerce and criminals, there needed to be some sort of regulation around how your data was being stored and shared. There were in fact a few high-profile breaches with companies such as Apple and Google, and they both had to walk back and look at how they were using cookies irresponsibly. But they weren't the only ones. And with third-party cookies and cookie thefts, users were having their data shared with organisations without having any knowledge of it. And they were even receiving unsolicited advertisements and even featuring personally in their advertisements without even knowing. We all want to maintain a level of trust and security when using the internet. We also want to ensure that we have confidentiality in our communication. This is a fundamental tenet of a democratic society. E-privacy is now firmly on the agenda of almost all governments, and the flagrant use and abuse of cookies are in their target. Legislation is now being passed regularly to control the use of cookies. Some regulators, like the European Community, are insisting that online players disclose if they're using cookies. They must obtain consent from all website visitors if they're enabling cookies. In fairness, and partly in response to these actions, most large sites and browsers allow you to opt in or out of being tracked by cookies. So on almost all large browsers, you can go to your settings and you can stop third-party cookies, you can clear all cookies and your internet history. This will also include clearing your internet cache. This is often described as internet browsing history in many operating systems. So remember, in fact, that some cookies are quite useful, so you may not want to delete them all. If you do not wish to be tracked by cookies on websites, there are certain browsers and search engines that you can go to that explicitly state that they will not use any tracking software to track your behaviour. Google Incognito or DuckDuckGo are examples of browsers and search engines where you can search without being tracked. But with the increasing regulation on cookies, we're seeing the internet fight back, and we're seeing cookieless tracking technologies emerging, some detectable, some not. Many of the early cookieless tracking technologies involve taking your unique code from your device and tracking your movements throughout the internet. It does feel a little bit cat and mouse, and this will probably continue. And the reason being is that advertisers just can't resist the data that they can get from tracking internet users. But regulators are getting smarter. However, it can be up to you. You can be more vigilant, you can go online, and you can manage how your presence is tracked.